Today on Houston Life, it's National Infertility Awareness Week. We are chatting with author Amy KLEIN about her heartfelt journey to have a baby and her advice for couples facing obstacles trying to conceive.
And more than 1.9 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine will arrive in Texas this week. What you need to know about potential side effects in today's Medical Minute.
Plus, the owner of a new local business is taking a page from one of his mentors and using his influence to lend a helping hand in the community.
And Lauren Kelly is taking us inside the new SpongeBob SquarePants-inspired experience that just popped up downtown. All that and more happening today on Houston Life.
Live from Studio B and KPRC2. Houston Life starts now.
Well, it is the start of a brand new week, folks. Monday, April 19th, 2021, and we are so glad to have you with us streaming live on our website, HoustonLife.tv right now.
That's where you can find us. That's where we are. It's good to see you, friends.
It is great to see you. We are preempted by the Derek Chauvin trial coverage happening, but thanks to those of you who have joined us. It is great to see you as well.
Did you have a great weekend?
We had a good time. I missed you guys here, but we had a couple of our best friends get married, Joel and Mario, down in New Orleans. So we popped on over, we took the 40-minute flight, and it really was lovely. Most people there were either fully vaccinated or partially vaccinated, and it just felt nice to feel like we were doing something normal.
Right,
you know?
Right, for once. Getting dressed up and going somewhere.
Yeah.
What a lovely photo.
We had a great time, and they did a second line. You know, when you're in New Orleans, the food and the music, it's an experience that can't be replicated elsewhere. So it was so nice to get away. And I always forget, it truly is like a 43-minute plane ride.
You're up and you're down.
You're up and you're down.
I know.
You're there before you know it, you're home before you know it.
Any of those second lines still playing in the head from New Orleans?
There are a few things still playing in the head, but it all worked out. You had an exciting weekend because I missed the Nutcracker Spring Market.
Yes,
here.
And listen, viewers came up, they were wondering where you were. You were missed, the vendors. We had such a great time. We missed you, but November is right around the corner, so we're going to do it all over again in November. But the Nutcracker Market was fantastic. It's good to see that y'all came out, supported all the vendors at the end of the day, supported, of course, the Houston Ballet, the foundation, and the Guild, because, you know, that money goes to scholarships for the students there. And it's so remarkable to be able to see that many people and coming out. They beautifully spaced the halls. It normally was in 2, and they spread it out to 4. You didn't need to sharpen your elbows. You could walk and talk, and it was great.
Plenty of room to mingle and shop. And these vendors, I know you mentioned it just now, but it can't be said enough. So many of them have had a really rough year and a half. Even though I wasn't physically at the market, I was there in spirit because I had a chance to hang out with Melinda Marie Kelly of Marie Kelly Decoupage there on Westheimer near Dunleavy. And she has such an incredible story. What a great team. And I know if you watched Houston Life last Friday, you saw a bit of her story, but it's just a reminder that these local businesses, these small businesses, they don't just happen, right?
No.
It takes a lot of blood, sweat, tears, money, time, heartbreak to create a business that lives on and is successful. And that's what I think is so satisfying about being able to meet some of these folks and hear their stories. Because again, it's not like a business happens overnight.
No, it doesn't. And, you know, she's been in business 30 plus years, and it was so great to hear her story. You know and love all of her things. But she has a brick and mortar store that you were able to go and see how she puts all of the decoupage things, not like I would do decoupage, okay? I mean, this is like high end. It's beautiful. It's lovely, but not like, you know, I mean, this is a professionally done. It's beautiful things. And you got to meet Oscar. And, you know, it's just so wonderful to put the story behind the names of these vendors because they were all emotional too. You know, seeing the people coming in and seeing people masked up and having a good time, but supporting the other small businesses.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned Oscar, and he is one of Melinda's employees there, a newer employee. But they have such a good team, and each of these people, you know, they have families to feed, and they have school tuition to pay for. So I'm sorry I missed the market, but I can't wait for November.
I know. It'll be here before we know it, as we always say.
Time is flying.
Goes by so fast.
We're all getting older, including your sweet husband, Orlando. He had a big birthday over the weekend.
had a birthday on Friday, and things got a little crazy with sports and the rain, and things started to cancel. So our actual celebration, the four of us went out. It's one of our favorite places in town. We surprised him at Alma Latina. He had no idea. I was AJ running the camera. But
he did a good job.
He did. Orlando was kind of bothered because he was like, put the phone down, guys, put the phone down. I said, oh no, he's just looking at something. It's fine. But I gave him the phone to be able to take this video.
Capture the surprise.
I know. But it was so fun. Alma Latina is one of our favorite places. We normally curbside and take it home. And Orlando, I said, let's just go out. Come on, it's late. We baseball games all weekend. And he didn't want to go, but you know, we got it all done there. It was great.
I'm kind of like Orlando. Birthdays have always been kind of low key, but then as you get older, you realize, well, maybe I should start celebrating these because how many more will I actually have? And you two are celebrating a 20-year wedding anniversary this year?
Yes,
Is
later
that right?
this year.
So you've had a lot of anniversaries and birthdays to celebrate.
I know. It's so crazy. I can't believe that's me that you're talking about. 20 years? That's crazy.
Well, it's something to be proud of.
It is, and we are, and we laugh too. You know, you think about where we were 20 years ago, and boy, I mean, the way we've grown together and the life that we have led, it's just unbelievable that it was 20 years ago.
You kind of look like babies in your wedding photos. We need to post some of those later. 20 years. You know, when we were at Joel and Mario's wedding over the weekend, we were chatting just about, I feel like these milestones, it forces you to step back and sort of examine your own life and think about the things and the people who are important to you. And we were chatting just about wedding traditions and all of the things that happen. You know, we've mentioned here on the show, I'm not always a fan of tradition. Because sometimes I wonder, like, why are we doing it?
But yet you are. I know. I mean, when it comes to the wedding thing, right? Is that what you're saying?
Specifically that, because the guys, Joel and Mario, wanted a really short wedding. And it was
like the ceremony.
The ceremony. We sat down, and before we even sat down, the thing was over. It was like the fastest wedding I had ever been to. But also contrast that with weddings that we have been to that are just hours long.
Hours.
And, you know, do you want people at the end of the ceremony to be exhausted?
My brother passed out as a best man in a wedding once before.
Because it was too long?
Oh, Greek weddings, you know, they're long.
See, this is what I'm saying.
It's a little hot in the church.
A little warm in there. I know. Well, tradition is very important to some people, so obviously I want to respect that, of course. But we were just thinking, like, well, what traditions would we have, or what might we not have? Is there anything that you would redo going back to your wedding?
I mean, you know, our wedding was perfect for that time where we were in our lives. I mean, I feel like I had everything I wanted. And by the way, when ladies refer to their wedding, that wedding day, it's my wedding. It's not our wedding. Orlando reminds me of that all the time.
Wedding.
At my wedding. So there were things that we both wanted, and there were little hiccups along the way that I never knew. My dad made mention of something to the family later and said, just don't tell her, don't tell her. And then it wasn't, I think, a year later, or maybe it was several months later, that I realized they played the wrong music for me to walk down the aisle. But I mean,
you didn't even notice.
Didn't even know. All I heard is the clicking of my heels at the Cathedral of the Madeleine.
Oh, beautiful. It's Salt Lake City.
Yeah. I just heard the wood, the heels of the, you know, tapping on the wood. I heard nothing else. Yes.
That's the same sound I hear every day. At 2:59 p.m. No, I'm kidding.
I know.
I'm kidding. You always beat me in studio. Well, so the bridesmaid's dress, that topic has come up on our show a number of times.
So glad I'm past that season.
People they have very strong feelings about whether or not you should force your bridal party to wear matching clothing because it's expensive, it's kind of a hassle. So we were chatting with Mario and Joel over the weekend. They were saying, well, you know the history behind it. Actually, there's a purpose. The bride and all the bridesmaids, they used to wear the same color.
Right.
Because back in the day, when a bride was traveling to meet her husband, I mean, maybe they had never met before, you know, like an arranged marriage situation. So imagine you're traveling through the countryside, and that bride is actually very valuable because kidnappers know that if they take the bride on or before her wedding day, the family's not going to get like the dowry, all of that is...
Well, this took a whole different turn. I was thinking this was going to be a lovely conversation.
So it's not a lovely conversation? What are you talking about?
No, it is. It went a little dark.
The matching dresses serve a purpose, or they served a purpose. What? Everyone had to look the same so the bride didn't get kidnapped and held for ransom, and then, you know,
They were
and also,
dummies.
They were dummies. They were dummies. And also the groom, I guess the bride would stand on his left so the groom could pull his sword out.
What?
That's a gun, but you know what I mean. A sword. Whatever a finger puppet sword shape would be. Imagine I have a sword. So the groom like pulls out the sword. There were legit kidnapping fears and risks, so that's why the matching dress. Here we are now in 2021. I'm not sure if we're still facing some of those issues, but I do think it is worth a read. And Reader's Digest, of course, after our convo, I went down the rabbit hole and read the whole thing. It's super interesting. I'm going to post this article later on my Houston Life Facebook page.
So at our wedding, see what I did there, babe? Our wedding, we did have matching dresses.
Yeah?
Yeah, horrible. Like a deep burgundy color. We were married in October. Deep burgundy. I mean, probably this color.
She doesn't mean that deep burgundy is ugly. Everyone who had burgundy bridesmaid
I
dresses.
love it. I love it. But I'm saying it was just a sea of burgundy. It was a lot.
Was this the shoulder pad era or not?
Oh no, these were off the shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Yes, might have been velvet.
Oh, that's pretty.
Two-piece. It's like a skirt and a top. It was a two-piece, not like a bikini. You went somewhere else.
I was wondering.
No,
like a bikini.
So it wasn't a dress. It was like a two-piece ensemble. A top and a
ensemble.
skirt. Yeah, I think
That
it was a
sounds
two.
nice.
I don't know. No, I didn't wear it, so I don't know.
Well, it sounds like it was memorable.
Did they have a bridal party? Did they wear the same dress?
They decided not to have a bridal party. See, we're not fans of tradition.
Right.
They decided not to do that.
Did they come down the aisle? Because it looked like they were in not.
They wore matching suits.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, the reception or
You
the
sat down, it was
ceremony
over.
was so fast, so fast. No, they didn't do a traditional like walk
beautiful-
down the aisle. By the
okay.
way, that's Bill Baldwin marrying them. It
is?
Yes, Mr. Bill Baldwin and Fady. They made the
Wow.
trip over to NOLA to
Don't
do
get
that
any
wedding.
ideas. Remember, I'm certified.
Certified.
Ordained.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Hey, so we've always wondered, what do you do with these dresses that you wear once at a wedding and you pay $400 for because the bride makes you? How about recycling them?
I think recycling's good. I never wore it again, by the way, and I don't think any of the other bridesmaids did either. Any of those dresses that I purchased, and I'm out of that wedding season, by the way. So that's a lot of money when you're younger.
It's a lot of money at any
regardless.
age,
But I
yeah.
remember being in college when one of my friends got married, and I had fork up all this money for a dress that I'm never going to wear again.
Well, maybe you could go through, clean them out, donate them,
I know.
especially because Earth Day is coming up later this week.
So this is really cool. Earth Day, of course, is Thursday, and many people have already started celebrating this week by finding ways to honor the planet and reduce their carbon footprints. Have you heard about this with Nike? I think this was released last week sometime, that they're accepting their shoes back. There's a few things that you have to go and follow. They can't be super old.
I think they have to be very new,
like
only
90
a few months
days or
old.
something like that. And so if you can't return them and they're okay, they want to turn those in and recycle and use them for soles or something like that. So I think it's great when you see a company that has such big brand recognition that they're doing something on this Earth Day. We all have to do something, right?
Yeah, well, our landfills are not getting any smaller. We use that Green City Recycler. If you follow them on Instagram, there actually is a little location where you can drop your fabric items. So things that aren't typically, maybe it's like a soiled set of sheets, or, sorry, that's a bad example, or like bleached out towels, something you couldn't otherwise donate to be resold.
Right.
You can have, textile recycling done. So you
it's
can look
great.
at the little drop box right at Westheimer and Dunleavy on the northeast corner.
That's a great job. Absolutely. And also towels and things. A lot of dog shelters or animal shelters want those. Old blankets,
do.
towels, and things like that. They will reuse them. But we do have a full article on click2houston.com where you can share your favorite nature photos in honor of Earth Day. The story is part of our Something Good series, which is designed to remind everyone of all the goodness in this world.
That is very nice. All right, still to come on Houston Life. Do you want to customize your ride? The rare license plates that are up for auction.
For now, let's check in with Lauren, who is a bit crabby this afternoon. Not really. Hey, Lauren.
Oh, not really, you guys. I'm in a pineapple under the sea. It's the Rusty Crab experience. It's a SpongeBob-inspired fun time that's happening downtown. I'm giving you a first look inside of it coming up next on Houston Life. Don't move.
What you know
Okay, we are talking right now about vanity license plates, and I feel like there is no middle ground here. You either love them or you don't.
I think they're cool. I don't know if I would ever get one.
I don't think I would ever get one. I think there's a lot of clever people out there.
For sure.
You know, but Texas is going to auction off some rare license plate messages. My Plate is holding a 2-character license plate auction. It's happening right now through May 26th, and 25 of these plates will be sold. A mix of 2-letter, 2-number, and 2-character combos. We do have more information on myplates.com. Now, previous auctions here, 12th Man, you know, the big football term, sold for $115,000.
That is staggering.
And Houston license plate sold for $25,000.
Oh, that's a cool one. That's actually a really cool one.
What do you I mean, you already said that you wouldn't get one.
I've thought about a million combos, and anytime I've checked out that website, because that is the official website where you would go to register your plates or get the vanity
like what's
plates
been
in
chosen
the state of
and-
Texas.
yeah.
Yeah, because you can type in any combination and it'll generate what it looks like. So I can think of a lot of things that I would like. I just feel like when you have a specialty plate, that you're more of a target, right?
You're marked, yeah, for sure.
Like people always know, like, oh my gosh,
that's
Courtney Zavala and that's her car. I don't know.
I know.
I like to fly under the radar.
I did add you into the auction.
You did?
I did. So here's the license plate that I
looked reclove. Wow, that's pretty. What does that mean? Locked reclove. Locked RC love? Locked?
I don't think this is the one I chose. Electric Love?
That does not say electric love.
I don't think so either.
Electric love. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Here's the thing.
Electric.
It doesn't work if you can't figure
Electric love, because for 10 years I've had, except 1 year when I first moved to Texas, I drove a gas car, but I've had an electric car for a long time.
I really wanted gas-free.
Gas-free. One of our coworkers has his license plate is Ew Oil.
Yeah. Ew.
Ew oil.
Like that.
Okay, I did one for you as well. I'm not sure how much this will be auctioned for, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. Do we have it? Duh.
Yours is way better. How do I
not
get
bad,
this
right?
one? Yes,
Doesn't
immediately.
that look great?
I love it.
I thought it was very clever myself.
I do think it's very clever indeed. I want it.
Should we spell it out to our viewers?
What was it again?
Sip and shop. I mean, those are
perfect.
two things. Those aren't just the only two things that make me think of you, but I thought it was
They're high on the list, aren't
high
they?
on the list. What would you have done if you had created your own?
I don't know. I'm not very good at it. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd probably do something with my last name, Shore, because it's so basic.
It is?
Like easy. Shore. Like
Sure.
we live by the shore.
Okay.
And it's oil and gas,
Sure.
the derrick, like an oil derrick.
I liked that really confusing one I made for you. It's perfect.
Lookter love. Lookter love. Wow. Okay, well, we want to hear from you. What would you put on your custom license plate? Join the conversation on our Houston Life Facebook page. As always, we will be sharing some of your ideas later on in today's show.
Okay, the Rusty Crab. Play on words here, is one of the largest interactive SpongeBob-inspired pop-ups to ever hit Houston, and it just recently opened its doors for all ages.
And Lauren Kelly, of course, is downtown checking it out, getting a look inside this fun version of the bottom of Bikini. There are a lot of references I'm not sure I get, Lauren. Maybe you can spell them out for us.
Of course I will. If you're a fan of SpongeBob, though, you're gonna get them all. This place looks amazing. We've been here before for lots of pop-ups, but Plethora Houston has done it again, this time for SpongeBob. And if you are a fan, let me tell you something. This is the place to be for SpongeBob fans. And Sydney with the crew is gonna show us around what you guys can see when they come on out to this pop-up. It looks wonderful.
Thank you.
So right behind you is what? The snail races.
Yes, it's the snail race. It's really honestly just like a figurine.
Okay.
We like to give people the image and the feel of every aspect of the bottom of Bikini.
Of course. And what I love about all these pop-ups that are here at 7-Eleven Main is that people can come and they can take their photos. And this, I think, has the most different places to take their photos. Like we walked on over here and there was the bicycle and they've got the jellyfish. And we did a little tease right over here before in the boat at Miss Fluff's boating school. Like it's just all of these little references, and the paintings on the wall look amazing.
I know, it really gives you a feel feel. Like, it's so lifelike. People love taking pictures here, like you said, and it just really adds to your dining experience. Whether you're upstairs or
and
downstairs.
I want to make mention that this is open for all ages, but we have to say that after 6 o'clock, it turns adult only because you've got the live DJ, the adult beverages, and then you guys can come over here. Look at this. This is like one of the most popular photos to take your picture at. The bottom of bikini driver's license. Courtney just got a new driver's license. I'm gonna get one too here at the Rusty Crab downtown. Coming up a little bit later on the show, City's gonna show us some food and drinks that you can enjoy when you come on by this pop-up. It looks amazing. You guys are definitely gonna wanna check it out. Derek and Courtney, back to you guys.
Such a cute idea. I love all the references as well, Lauren. Thanks.
Great for all ages, too. He's been around for a while. All right, when we come back, some of the most frequently asked questions about COVID-19 vaccines answered in today's Medical Minute.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Whether you are partially vaccinated, fully vaccinated, or have yet to get your first dose, there are still many questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. In today's Medical Minute, we are getting answers about potential side effects from infectious disease expert Dr. Linda Yancey from Memorial Hermann.
It is impossible for any of these vaccines to alter your DNA. They do not get into the nucleus. They do not get into your DNA. They are using the tools in the outside of your cell to produce this spike protein that's going to prime your immune system to protect you against COVID. It is absolutely impossible for them to alter your DNA. It is very important to remember that you are not bulletproof the day after you get your first vaccine dose. It takes 7 to 10 days after the second dose of the vaccine, or 3 weeks after the one dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, before you are protected. So you have to continue to social distance, to wear masks, to take all the precautions to protect yourself. We are absolutely seeing people come into the hospital after the first vaccine within that first week with symptomatic COVID. So protect yourself. It takes up to a month after that shot to get fully protected. Absolutely. Both the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine and the American College of Gynecology are recommending that pregnant women get the vaccine because of the risks of severe COVID in pregnancy. If a pregnant woman gets this disease, they're much more likely to die. And breastfeeding women are recommended to get the vaccine because we don't have pediatric vaccines yet. And so the only children who are going to be protected against COVID are going to be breastfeeding infants. So yes, absolutely, pregnant and breastfeeding women should receive these vaccines.
And if you have any questions about vaccines or COVID-19, you can head to memorialhermann.org/coronavirus. And I don't know about you, Courtney, but getting that second dose, just to have it out of the way mentally, felt so good. A little soreness with the first one, but after the second one, no problems.
And you got yours, is it today that you did it today, right? I went yesterday, and so I was just more nervous because I've heard a lot of people, you know, depends on, I think, who depends on your body, right? So I wasn't exactly sure, but I went yesterday at about 3 o'clock, and I mean, other than soreness like you, I feel like lethargic.
Okay.
Maybe a little tired, but that is it. Nothing else.
I feel lethargic every day, so I don't know if it's...
That's like real, or is that just life?
It's just, I think it's too many nachos from the weekend.
Oh, I love a good nacho.
No, so do I. No, it's good though, and I'm glad we did that segment, because I think for a lot of people, there's still these things, you know, floating around there on the internet. I think it's interesting we live in a time when, instead of listening to medicine and science, sometimes we are curious about what our crazy uncle has posted on Facebook, but it's always great to hear from the experts.
Absolutely, and it was very easy in and out yesterday, and once you went through the, you know, the observation period, you go on your merry way, and you're, you know, 2 more weeks, you're fully inoculated.
All right,
Sounds
sign me
good.
up for that.
All right, we're going to send things over to Joe Sam now, who's standing by with a look at what he has coming up. Hi, Joe.
Hey guys, still to come, I'll introduce you to a new custom clothing business that's focused on helping the community recover from the recent winter freeze. Plus, we'll have a look at what's ahead for the news at 4. Stay right here. Houston Life is back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to all of our streamers with us to Houston Live. Courtney and Derek here for you that Monday, that jam session we were just listening to.
Yeah, on behalf of all of us here at KPRC2, I'd like to apologize
sorry.
for our music department. Oh, wait, we don't have a music department.
It was just, I thought it was great. It was just a little different than what we're used to.
It was.
We're used to a little bit of a club action.
Quite nice.
This was a major concert. So.
I'm totally teasing our control room. By the way, you guys are hilarious, our viewers. Thanks so much for sending in your comments. Our question of the day was, what would you put on your custom license plate? Naomi, you're cracking me up. She writes, OMG, move, already taken. I saw it on a car. Made me laugh, though. Us too, Naomi. Thanks for sharing.
I know, that's a good one. And Donna writes in, my hubby would have road rage. Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Thanks,
you sort of have to
Donna.
stare at it to figure it out. Liana, paid for.
I like it.
Cool.
Very good. And I think our last one here is coming to us from Lawrence. This is in my mirror. Objects in mirror are losing.
Leave them in the dust, Lawrence. Very nice.
I love it. Okay, we're going to check in now with Andy and Lauren and Justin for a look at what is coming up at the top of the hour at 4 o'clock. Hey guys, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How about stay in your lane?
Ooh.
You could put that on a t-shirt too.
Right? Use blinker.
Either that or mine would be pedal on the right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, it's a good one too. All right, Justin, let's talk to you about our weather because plenty of sunshine out there to
Gorgeous.
start the work week so
Yep,
far.
it is. You know, this is going to be that week, and you know we've had a few of these now, but this is going to be that week where you say, can we bottle this up and can we use it in like late July and August? Because it was nice and cool this morning. You see gobs of sunshine out there this afternoon, and temperatures aren't bad, mid 70s, so very, very nice. We should be around 80 degrees this time of year, so we're running a little below that. Likely to get close to it as we get in towards tomorrow, but that's tomorrow. Let's deal with today. 70 down in Galveston and everywhere. Conroe, Cleveland, Brenham, up towards College Station. Folks out in Sealy as well. It's a beautiful afternoon with the temperatures generally sitting in around 72 to 74. Now, I want you to look at this on the exact track. You see some of this green popping up here and some of that down around the coast. You say, oh gosh, showers coming. The air is fairly dry, so even though the radar is picking this up, remember the radar scans here and then it goes up into the atmosphere, so it's probably picking up on some stuff that is not going to make it to the ground. If you happen to get a sprinkler or two, that's it. Don't expect to see much trouble from that at all. And in fact, all we'll do see is just a little more cloud cover as we get in towards this evening, but notice that the temperatures once again will quickly jump back down into the 50s. In fact, 52 is what we're going to go for a low for tomorrow. We'll go into the low 80s, and then we've got a weak front coming through tomorrow, guys. Won't bring any rain with it, but notice that it will switch that west wind to a northeast wind, and look at the temperature change. Drops it about 10 degrees. How about low 70s middle of April? That's pretty good. And rain chance wise, if you want to kind of plan around that if you're doing some gardening, Friday we'll get a pretty good system sliding through here. That'll bring a nice soaker, especially Friday evening. Some of that will last into early Saturday morning. We'll clean that up for most of the weekend. Right now, I'd say for the best of 2 days, it's on Sunday as the highs will be in the low 80s. And then, oh yeah, look at that. Those mid 80s and the humidity is starting to creep back in as we get in towards next week.
Yeah, we're actually having a spring this year.
We are,
Nice
aren't we?
out there right
nice
now.
to
Yeah.
see that.
Last
yeah.
couple of weeks have been pleasant. Yes.
All right, Justin, thanks so much. Here's a look at some of the stories that we are covering for you this afternoon. The closing arguments in the trial of Derek Chauvin as jurors will deliberate on the case of the former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing Houston native George Floyd.
And NASA's Ingenuity Mars helicopter takes flight on the Red Planet. A closer look at the history made during the 42nd flight.
And our Keith Garvin is interviewing NBC Nightly News anchor Lester Holt. Lester will anchor Nightly News tonight live from Houston. 2 months after the winter weather disaster, Nightly News will look at the climate challenge the area faces.
Yeah, and that is literally almost 3 months to the day since we all went through all that.
It's still mind-boggling, but I think obviously it's a conversation to put Houston on the map for that. I mean, so many people, even my dad in Chicago, still asks about how we're still dealing with that. But ironically, you know, the kids in school, little AJ, this week has been dealing with climate change for their studies at school. And Justin, I know that that's big for you, and I know that you love to hear that all kids of all ages are talking about this. And we were chatting about the rising sea levels that are really making the headlines right now.
Yeah, there's a crazy graphic. I'll see if I can find it. If I can't, I'll put it up on my Facebook page and Twitter as well. It basically shows that over the next 50 years, much of the coast that we have around the country, West Coast, here on the Gulf Coast, and of course over across portions of the East Coast, some of the coastal cities, Miami, even Galveston here, are all going to be underwater. And then we're talking about a 100-year period. And it's hard, I think, sometimes for people, especially for kids, to think in those macro terms. We think about like, what am I having for lunch today versus what's going to happen when I'm 65. They can't comprehend that. So I'm glad that they're actually getting a big start to that. One of the interesting things is, Courtney, that I always talk about when we do school visits, and this is really important, and I'm sure that AJ's class is going to discuss this as well. People sometimes get the difference between weather and climate mixed up.
Yep.
Weather is what happens on a day-to-day basis, right? So when we talk about what's happening now, I'm talking about weather, right? Today, tomorrow, the next 10 days, when we share that 10-day forecast, that's our weather. Climate is something that happens over a long period of time. Generally, we use it over the 30-year period, and that's how we can kind of spot trends. So like recently when we talked about the new hurricane forecast that came out, the average hurricane number of forecasts has actually gone from 12, 6, and 3, which is the number of named storms, hurricanes, and then major hurricanes. It's now 14, 7, and 3. So you notice that in that 30-year period, there's been more storms, so that has to be adjusted when we talk about our climate statistics. And so that's kind of why we always talk about the difference between the two. It's easy for folks to kind of think, well, what's what? Think of it this way: weather is what happens to you now, climate is what happens over a very long period of time. Like if we were to say, what's the climate here in Houston, you guys would say what?
Hot and humid.
There you go, right? Because statistically, over how many generations has it been hot and humid here versus, hey, Lauren, what's it going to be today?
74.
There you go, right? That's weather, right?
Putting Lauren on the spot there. This is fourth grade.
Yeah, but it really is, and it's something that we're going to be talking about not only this week because of Earth Week as well, but certainly coming up at 4 o'clock, we're going to kick things off. We want you guys at home to show us your pictures of what you're doing to do some either recycling or some climate at your house as well. It can be, the kids planting trees. If it's like the tumbler that you take to work so you don't have to use a plastic bottle, whatever it is, send that in to us as well. We'd love to have those start generating as we get into Earth Week.
Yeah, for sure. And Earth Week and Earth Day, they're great times to have these conversations. I believe we should be having them every single day because we don't want our kids and grandkids to say, hey, adults, why didn't you do more when you could? So great conversation, guys. We'll see you at 4 o'clock.
Well, speaking of weather, the winter storm that happened here in February caused widespread damage and heartbreak throughout our state, and many local businesses really stepped up to help.
They sure did. Adam Ross Custom Clothing was one of those businesses, and Joe Sam is here with more on their story. Hi, Joe.
Hey, guys. Yeah, that's right. Not only are they a brand new business, but Adam Ross Custom Clothing is all about community partnering up with Mattress MACK to provide furniture to those that suffered damage from those burst pipes that happened to a lot of people's homes. I spoke with its owner to learn a little more about this initiative and how others can actually lend a helping hand.
I've been doing this for 8 years now, and I had the opportunity to start my own business. And so we started in 2020, right before the pandemic hit.
And a lot of people not only have to deal with the pandemic, but we just finished going through this freeze. No power, no electricity, no water. And then a lot of people also lost a lot of furniture in the midst of all of the renovations that they're doing right now.
During the winter storm, we got to witness what Mattress did. He opened up a store and let people, Houstonians, come and stay on all of the mattresses and sofas, and he was providing hot meals for people. And so I, as a young business owner now, I'm like, I have to make an impact here as well and do my job to give back to the community. And Mack is a role model for me. And so I partnered up with him from last month and this month. We're donating 10% of all of our sales to Mattress MACK's Community Relief Fund, and we're happy to do it. My grandfather passed down one of his jackets to me, and he had it custom made, and it's still around 52 years later. People, when they go and buy suits, they think, oh, it's just a suit. Well, not necessarily so. If you have proper quality, you take care of your garment, it could be something that you could pass down to your children and their children. So we build our garments ground up to you, to your specific measurements. We take 35 plus measurements of your body, and then as far as our quality, I love to say it's bar none. We purvey Loro Piana, Scabal, Dorme, some of the finest in the world, and we're making people quality products.
What do you want people to take away from this entire help that you're doing here in the community once they finish purchasing the suit and knowing that some of their profits are going to be going towards helping community members?
During the pandemic, they weren't all suited up and dressing nice. We were all in sweats, even myself included. But now that we're open back up, we're going to try to give back to the community here, and I also ask other new business owners to do the same.
Yeah, some great work they're doing there. Now, to find out how you can make an appointment to dress for success while helping the community, I'll have a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv, with more information. Courtney, Derek, I told Adam that if he just put you guys on a poster like this here, their suits will fly off the shelves, which means more money to go to Mattress Mack for the community to get that furniture in.
We just need to put you on there.
Probably so too. I brought in one of his outfits here. It's a really nice spring color, summer color, really pink. Goes with anything if you want to max it up with some khaki pants or some white pants. It really looks good. And that fabric, water falls on it, it just rolls right off.
Crazy.
So you never have to worry about damaging these custom suits here. So really great work they're doing, and you look good while you're doing it.
Stylish for sure.
I'm going to take this one home.
I like it. Thanks, Joe.
No problem.
Well, coming up, in honor of Infertility Awareness Week, we're going to chat with the author of an empowering guide for want-to-be parents struggling to conceive. More of Houston Life when we come back. Well, welcome back. We are tackling the topic of infertility today. Our next guest, Amy KLEIN, knows firsthand the physical and emotional challenges of getting pregnant, so she decided to share with others the tools that got her through infertility.
She is the author of the new book, The Trying Game, and she joins us now with her story. Amy, welcome to Houston Life. Thanks so much for your time. You spent 3 years, 9 rounds of IVF with 10 doctors, 4 miscarriages before you had your daughter, Lily Charlotte, in 2015. Congratulations. Why did you decide to go public about your story?
You know, when I started doing this in 2012, nobody was talking about infertility. There were no articles about it. There were no Facebook groups about it. There were no social media influencers talking about it. And I thought, how can no one be talking about it when everyone I asked has a story to share, whether it was trouble getting pregnant, trouble staying pregnant, or going through fertility treatment. It seemed like this secret world that all these women were going to clinics and talking to doctors, and it was underground on the web in secret web groups. And I just felt, as someone who's a journalist with a health and science background, I wanted to share for everyone else what I was going through, because I thought a lot of people were going through it too. And I started writing about it in a weekly column for the New York Times, where people would comment every week that there were so many people who had gone through this or knew someone who was going through this. So it seemed so overwhelming to me, and I just wanted to make it easier for other people.
It's so great that your process, that you turned that in, regardless of how overwhelming, how sad it was, that you turned it into something really powerful to help others. And I can only imagine, Amy, the journey of infertility, the amounts, what you've gone through over the 3 years, probably felt very isolating as well.
It definitely felt very isolated, because even though I was writing about it, I didn't have that many people in my life that knew what I was going through and who knew the right things to say, because it seemed like at every turn people were saying the wrong things to me, like, why don't you adopt? Or, oh, I guess that miscarriage wasn't meant to be. So I felt very alone, and I didn't know who to talk to about it, because I had a lot of friends who had kids. And this was, you know, years behind them, and then a lot of friends who never even wanted kids. So I felt like I was stuck in this limbo between, you know, my single and child-free friends and my mom friends, and I didn't have a group or anyone to share with.
How do you think the pandemic, Amy, affected those who are struggling with infertility?
It's been so hard for people who are going through this during the pandemic. I mean, when you're going through infertility, it feels like everything's stopping you at every single moment. You know, like you thought you were going to be able to get pregnant easy and quick and cheaply, and then all of a sudden you hear it's going to be expensive and it's going to take a long time and it might not even work. And every time you go through a cycle, a lot of things happen that you don't expect. And then to have a pandemic on top of that, that really feels like the universe or the powers that be are getting in your way. I think, you know, from a lot of people that I spoke to, what's been really hard for them is, you know, in the first few months, they had to put their treatments on hold, and then they were stuck on social media watching parents who are also struggling, but a lot of the parents are complaining about their kids and complaining, you know, being stuck at home. And someone said to me, I wish I was stuck at home right now with a baby or two. I would be so happy. So, you know, no one had anywhere to go, but can you imagine if someone, you know, wanted more children, didn't have any, and just had to watch all these parents complaining about their children? It was so difficult.
And the book also includes exclusive quotes from very famous people: Anne Hathaway, Lucy Liu, Angela Bassett, Michelle Obama, Chrissy Teigen, Mark Zuckerberg. What were you looking for from these people to get in for the book?
I think it's just so important to see that so many people have struggled. And, you know, I have so many celebrities that didn't even make it into the book, because it's amazing to see in the last 10 years, maybe since I started trying, how many people have come forward with their struggles. When Michelle Obama wrote her book, she talked about struggles that she had been through, you know, almost 2 decades ago, or, you know, in the last 10 years. She didn't talk about it at the time. So it's nice that celebrities are coming forward with their struggles, because a lot of times, you know, you're looking at these magazine covers and you see this baby bump or that baby bump, and you think they have it so easy, and you think that, why can't this happen to me? So when these celebrities say, you know, I suffered a miscarriage. You know, Mark Zuckerberg suffered 3 miscarriages. Michelle Obama had trouble communicating with her husband, the future president, about IVF. Then you feel a lot less alone.
Okay, Amy, before we let you go, because we're out of time, I know that we're surrounded by people every day who struggle with this. What are ways that we can reach out with kindness, and what are things that we should never ask or say to someone about their potential pregnancy?
You know, never ask anyone if they're pregnant, because they'll tell you when they're pregnant, and they'll tell you if their IVF worked. I think what you should do is, if you know someone is struggling, just say, I'm here for you, and tell me what you need. Because people are very different. Some people want you to call them every time they have a cycle, or check in with them over every little test that they have, and other people just want to say, I'll share with you when I'm ready. But I think for anyone who's struggling with anything, whether it's infertility or going through the pandemic, if you just ask them what they need, they're going to tell you.
Amy KLEIN, author of The Trying Game, we appreciate your time today, and also opening the door and having a platform for this infertility conversation. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, The Trying Game is available now on Amazon. If you wish to connect with Amy, we have a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv, a very powerful read.
Certainly, and a powerful story. Now let's check in with Lauren Kelly, who is living in a pineapple under the sea this afternoon, lightening things up a bit. Hi, Lauren.
That's right, guys. As you can tell, I'm in SpongeBob's living room, and coming up, the Rusty Crab downtown. It's a pop-up, and I'm going to show you guys what's on their food and drink menu, plus some more fun photo ops here. When we come back, Houston Life will be right back. The Rusty Crab is a SpongeBob-inspired experience that just popped up downtown at 7-Eleven Main, and we've seen a bunch of really great things come through here, but this by far is probably the most detailed and coolest one yet, especially if you are a fan of SpongeBob. So I want to go through some of the food and drinks on the menu. This is open for all ages. Now, after 6 p.m., it will be adults only because they will have adult beverages, but some of the stuff, the play on words, aside from the fun photo ops, they've got the chum balls, they have the Krabby Patty, and even this right here, the jambalaya, among many other dishes. So there's a ton of different food. There is something for everyone. They've got a COVID-friendly scavenger hunt. They definitely would love for you to come dressed in costume, because there's going to be some cosplay contests and stuff like that. But I want to move it over to where my adult friends are hanging out at the bar today. Sydney is here with the crew, And we always love to show off these drinks here because they're so much fun. First of all, let's just run through the names and what's in each one for me.
Yes, so this is the Am I a Pretty Girl?
Am I a Pretty Girl?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to start with that one. Okay, what else? What else do we have?
Yes, and then we have the Pineapple Under the Sea.
Okay.
And then that one is vodka with pineapples.
Okay.
And then our fried boot is vodka cranberry.
Fried boo?
Yeah, fried boot.
Oh, boo!
Yes.
Okay. And what's the really tall one?
That one's a Squidward, the orchestra master.
Of course it is.
Yes.
Of course it is. So what is going to be the favorite one, do you think, from everybody?
I don't know. I would probably say the Am I a Pretty Girl?
I love the Am I a Pretty Girl. And you have everything so nicely displayed, and everything has a QR code for the scavenger hunt, as we were telling you guys. It's COVID friendly, so you're not touching anything.
Exactly.
And the photo ops are really with your own phone, so it's just you taking it, and there's sanitation stations all around, and it's really set up wonderfully. They do have a DJ that comes out. I don't know, Paul, the cameraman, if you want to turn around and show the DJ where the DJ plays in his own little boat, which I absolutely love. So 711 Main is the address right here downtown for the Rusty Crab SpongeBob inspired pop-up. That's now until when?
May 9th.
Till May 9th. You got plenty of time. You got to get a ticket, though. You got to reserve it online before you come. So HoustonLife.tv for that length, and then I'll see you right here at this Pineapple Under the Sea. Derek and Courtney, back to you guys in the studio.
And I'm going to clarify, Mom, it's not squarehead bob pants, just so you know. That's just not. Thanks, Lauren. After the break,
thanks, guys.
a look at what's coming up on tomorrow's show. Did you follow me there?
Yeah.
Okay. Including a real housewife who's spilling all the tea.
And as we head to break, let's check in with Kevin Frazier for a look at what's coming up on Entertainment Tonight. Hey, Kevin.
Derek and Courtney tonight on ET, a night of exclusives. Only ET is backstage at the ACMs with country music's biggest stars. We've got the performances, the couples, and of course, all the fashion. Plus, I'm talking to my man Snoop Dogg about becoming a mega mentor before his debut tonight on The Voice. It's all happening at 6:30 right here on KPRC2. Now, stay put. Houston Life. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on Houston Live from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Margaret Josephs talks about her new book, Caviar Dreams, Tuna Fish Budget, how she's inspiring others to find success in business and life.
And thinking about a summer family getaway, travel expert Gabe Saglier shares 4 beach destination deals you won't want to miss.
And let's get one last look at what you had to say about our question of the day. We asked, what would you put on that custom license plate? Y'all are funny. Linda writes in, stay away.
Is that stay or stay?
Stay.
I think it's stay.
We're going to go with
Very
stay.
nice, Linda. Love it. Sissy writes in, go Astros. That's a good one.
I like that. That one works for me. Amanda, move your car out of the left lane.
Isn't it amazing how people don't understand the left lane is the fast lane?
I know.
And the right lane should be used for exiting and entering the roadway.
I know.
Some people just
sign.
sit in that right lane as well. Amanda, we feel your pain.
One too many, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, characters. Not sure that'll fit on a license plate. And Tia writes in,
no decaf.
no decaf.
I like it.
No decaf.
That is very clever, Tia. I love it.
You know what I realized? Today's been one of those days because we had the wedding this weekend in New Orleans. I haven't had a single cup of coffee today. Can you believe?
How are you even upright?
I'm asking myself the same question. I think I'm high on
Why are
life.
you yawning over here?
I was during commercial breaks, not yawning. Absolutely not. No, I was excited to come back to work and hang out with all you fine people.
It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. I missed you too. Oh, cute shoes.
Oh, thanks.
And we do want to give out a special shout to our online streaming viewers today on our website, HoustonLife.tv. Anytime we're preempted, people sometimes think if they're just watching television that we have a break and we go home.
No.
That is not true.
We're right here.
We are here doing our jobs, and we thank you for streaming us live on HoustonLife.tv. And if you want to watch the news, click to Houston.com.
Is the way to go. That's where they're going to be. And also head over there for the latest news and weather updates. The news at 4 is coming up next, and we've got a fun show for you tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. We are working hard behind the scenes. And as always, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter if you want to see some of Courtney's dance moves during commercial breaks.
Oh, yeah. Right now, I'm going to end you with a guitar solo today.
Lots of air guitars happening in the building right now.